Your name, age, and pronouns?
Howdy. I'm John. I'm 20. He, him.
Okay. Which point do you want to debate about?
So let's see. I agree. Definitely dislike Donald Trump a lot.
Hmm.
Elon definitely did that salute. So when it comes to gender affirming care for minors, I'm generally a very liberal person. Um,
Hmm.
and so I assume we agree on the age of consent. It should be, 18. You can't, um, consent to sex when you're under 18 because you don't have like the mental facilities for that, right?
Well, I mean, look, it's not that I necessarily disagree. I mean, if I was making the rules for it, would I make it 18? Yeah, probably. I mean, obviously, different countries have like different ages and stuff like that. Like, and I mean, like some of them are a little bit fucked up, but I mean, most of them I think are probably like okay. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, like we can definitely kind of go with 18 as a yeah.
Sure. So when it comes to like the gender affirming care for minors, like, eh, so we agree they can't make a single sexual decision, but we allow them to make the biggest sexual decision of their life before they're 18.
Well, they're not
Like,
making it.
well, if they choose to go through with surgery or hormone blockers, like that does permanently affect their life.
In what way? Because puberty blockers are entirely reversible. So, in what way does it affect their lives?
I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know the science, but I can't imagine that puberty blockers have no negative effects, if even if you want to reverse them. I mean,
Okay,
there's just no way.
so
That's like,
I mean, like they're like our side. I mean, like there are side effects to everything. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're taking Nurofen for a headache. There's like possibly a side effect to it, right? So I mean, like there is like absolutely no sort of like medication or drug or anything else like that that has no side effects. The main kind of side effects that we've seen from people who have taken puberty blockers who have then gone off of them is that they are maybe kind of like an inch to 2 inches shorter than they otherwise kind of maybe would have been. There is kind of like delayed puberty, so then obviously puberty, I mean, hits them like a truck when they go off of them. Then again, I mean, like you're also, if you are prescribed puberty blockers, you are only on them for 12 to 24 months, and that's at a maximum. You then go off of them. So I mean, like this is only kind of like at a max case. This is 2 years that you are taking them.
interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't know that science. But like back to my premise of we don't allow children to make sexual decisions. So why are we allowing them to make the largest sexual decision of their life? You see what
Well,
I'm saying?
well, yeah. Well, I mean,
Like
as I
I'm all
said,
for being
they're
supportive and
not
being
making
like
it though.
whatever, but like with the permanent stuff, I mean, at some level, they and their parents are making that choice. I mean, that's
Well, no, it would be their parents who recognize the early signs, who then take them to doctors, who then take them to people who are like who specialize in recognizing gender dysphoria and all of these. I mean, like this is like a years long process, and it is only then eventually at the advice of the doctors and of the parents themselves that they will then make the decision for the child. This is not the child making it for themselves. This is like the like adults in their lives making it for them.
okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. So, do you think like a 4 year old, if a 4 year old wanted, to transition and all the like and do bottom surgery, for example, like would you be okay with that? A 4 year
No,
old saying like,
nobody.
"Oh, I want to be a boy," right? So there is
Okay,
an age.
just
There
just
is an age, right?
just hang on just slightly, just a slight timeout. Name one example where that has ever happened ever in any country.
So I can't. I know specifically, literally in my town, I believe it was like a 10 to 12 year old that transitioned. So I mean, that's
Well, I mean, like
just to
that would be a social transition. That would be them changing their like phenotypic expression of their gender. That would not be like any
so
any class of surgery.
children don't get surgery.
So top surgery is sometimes kind of performed, kind of like 16 to 17. Bottom surgery is almost exclusively reserved for 18 plus.
Oh, interesting. I actually didn't know that. That seems reasonable. Yeah, no, and I'm definitely of the school of thought where like the government shouldn't the decision should be between the healthcare provider, the parents, and the child. The government should not have a role in the decision. But like, um, I don't know. I think it's definitely worth I don't know setting some guidelines around it. Like I would say those irreversible sexual decisions need to be treated the same in a way as having sex.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
As in, we agree children can't consent to sex, but we are, bending the rules when it comes to changing their sex.
Well, it's not changing their sex, it's changing their gender. You cannot alter your chromosomes, you cannot alter your kind of DNA, but you can absolutely alter your gender. 100% you can.
Right. Okay, so I guess we agree
just,
more than I thought.
Just for kind of like example, right? If you had, if I asked you to define what a man was, right, and like what a man looks like, you might say that it's someone who has kind of like shortish hair, right, who has a full beard and who is like a big burly, they're covered in muscles, they're like your like stereotypical kind of like bodybuilder stuff, right? I fit maybe some of those categories, right? I'm bald, but I have a beard, and I am absolutely not jacked as fuck. So simply just because you define, my kind of point is, if I was to fit all of those categories, though, right, but I shaved off my beard, which I'm never going to do, but if I did, would I if your criteria was that that's all that a man is and that's all that a man looks like, you could argue that I am changing my gender, phenotypic expression. You could argue that. I know that that's not what you're doing, but like you absolutely could argue that. And so like it is, the point is that I mean, like, if you talk to trans people, as I have, I'm obviously not kind of speaking for them or anything else, but like they have said that like from an incredibly young age they knew that, like, maybe not that they were like trans, but they knew that like something was up, that like the stuff that like other kind of boys will say did that they just had no interest in, and that like they were more so kind of aligned with like the kind of like feminine gender expressions and all of these sorts of things, right? So like this is absolutely known by them from an incredibly young age, but that doesn't mean that the decision is made by them. It's because it's not. But I think that you kind of agreed on that eventually, so
Yeah, no, I do think we generally agree. And then on to the abortion all 9 months thing. So I honestly don't even know what I think about abortion sometimes. Like, uh, I I do at the end of the day think you are, you know, murdering something. Like you are killing a child like that. But I do think it should be legal and accessible. When it comes to all 9 months, I mean, are you talking? I mean, like 10 minutes before birth? Like I guess.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, it depends on how you define abortion, right? So, I mean, like when we are talking about a medical procedure, which is what it is, I go by the Harvard Medical Dictionary, which essentially says that it is the expulsion of the contents of the uterus. So that's all that an abortion is. So you could otherwise kind of define it as like the ending of a pregnancy, not necessarily the termination of a pregnancy, because I think that word carries the like weight of what people kind of typically think of like the it's like ending the life of the fetus, right? But if you give birth, you cease to be pregnant, so that pregnancy has ended, right? Now you are talking about a like healthy pregnancy, a healthy delivery, everything else like that, right? That you intended to bring it to term, you're gonna bring it up, and it's gonna be absolutely fucking amazing. It's gonna be class president because you're a kick-ass mom. That is still the ending of a pregnancy. That pregnancy has ceased. So when we are talking, so my kind of basic cutoff line is at 24 weeks. And why is it 24 weeks? And it's because that is when kind of sentience seems to, like, that's when we know that like that being is sentient, right? That it has awareness. So anything after that, it would be kind of non-lethal forms of abortion, which absolutely exist. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like that would be my kind of criteria on it. If you take issue with anything else, with anything that I've said there, sure, we can talk about it then.
Yeah, so what do you mean by non-lethal abortion after 24 weeks? What's the implication
So I
there?
mean, it would be basically kind of, so like we'll say that this happens at like 26 weeks, right? So the pregnancy would end. They would take the baby out, and they would put it into an incubator, and then it would be raised by the state and possibly go into like the foster industry or anything else like that. Something else could kind of happen. The point is that the end result is that the baby lives.
Okay. So you are morally against like terminating the pregnancy after, say 24 weeks or whatever.
Yes, because sentience is what I
Okay.
care about. I don't care about anything else.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, I just find it interesting how people draw that line, like conception, then there's heartbeat and brain waves, and yeah, I don't know. So I would agree with you there, honestly. I thought you meant all 9 months, meaning you
Yeah.
could abort the
No,
child
look,
regardless of like a
I mean,
medical.
I obviously kind of had that, and I worded it in that way to kind of get people up and kind of have like conversations and stuff like that. Like, but like I kind of just think that after people kind of hear out the like total argument and stuff like that, like it's kind of, I think that an awful lot of people who maybe initially were totally against it would agree even to a point, right? That's what I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I wasn't
Anyway.
even
That's
aware
what
of
I
that.
think.
Yeah, yeah, no, abortion's a really tough one, honestly.
Yeah, no, look, true. Yeah, look, I think we're having a little bit too much agreement and stuff like that. So look, I definitely, absolutely thank you for popping up. Yeah, you can kind of stick around, have a chat in the live chat and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to move on to the next caller there. Okay,
Yeah, no, I appreciate the conversation. See you, man.
no problem at all, man. Have a good night.